of Adidas, the Olympian, Erriyon Knighton.
He didn't just outrun the competition, he outran history. At just 18, Erriyon Knighton ran a 200-meter race so fast, it broke records, stunned experts, and put the entire track world on notice. But who is this teen phenom, and how did he do what even Usain Bolt hadn't at his age? Born in 2004 in Tampa, Florida, Knighton didn't start out dreaming of gold medals on the track. His early focus was football. As a wide receiver, his speed made him stand out. But it wasn't until high school that a coach convinced him to give track a real shot. It didn't take long for everyone to realize this wasn't just another fast kid, this was something else. Knighton's breakout was meteoric. In 2020, still just 16, he turned professional, signing with Adidas before he was even old enough to vote. The move raised eyebrows, but it proved to be the right call. A year later, he was breaking age group records previously held by Bolt himself. And in 2022, at a meet in Baton Rouge, he lit up the track with a 19.49-second run that would place him as the fourth fastest 200-meter runner in history. The record was wind legal and legitimate, although it wasn't ratified due to a technicality with the timing system. But that didn't matter. The message was loud and clear. Knighton wasn't just coming, he was here. To put that into perspective, only 3 men in history, Usain Bolt, Johan Blake, and Michael Johnson, have run faster. And none of them did it as teenagers. Knighton wasn't just rewriting history books, he was challenging what people thought was even possible for someone his age. Then came the 2022 World Athletics Championships in Eugene, Oregon. Knighton, still just 18, faced a stacked field in the men's 200-meter final, but instead of being intimidated, he showed up with something to prove. The gun went off, and he ran a powerful race, holding his form, surging down the curve, and powering through the finish to claim the bronze medal. That bronze wasn't just a medal, it was a moment in time. Knighton became the youngest individual sprint medalist in the history of the World Championships. For a sport that had long been searching for its next star, Knighton had arrived, and he brought fireworks. Of course, his rapid rise didn't happen in isolation. Knighton's emergence created a thrilling new rivalry with another American sprint star, Noah Lyles. Lyles, a world champion with charisma and experience, had been the face of American sprinting. But Knighton's sudden presence added a new layer of competition. Their races became must-watch events.
What a moment for Noah Lyles. He hates losing over 200 meters, and he's forgotten how to. 19.32!
But this wasn't a bitter rivalry, it was built on mutual respect. Lyles acknowledged Knighton's talent, even while vowing to stay on top. And Knighton, ever calm and composed, never shied away from the challenge. Their back-and-forth battles brought energy to the track world, reminiscent of the Bolt-Gatlin duels of the past. In fact, many fans saw their rivalry as something deeper, a passing of the torch. Lyles was the established name, the current king of the 200 meters. Knighton was the disruptor, the new blood hungry to make his mark. Their races weren't just about medals, they were about legacy. Lyles' consistent success and speed have solidified his reputation as a leading figure in the sport, earning him the title of King of the 200 meters among some. Off the track, Knighton kept a low profile. Unlike some of his peers, he didn't chase headlines or drama. He let his performances do the talking. But behind the scenes, he was all business, training with some of the best coaches in the world, focusing on recovery, technique, and mental toughness. Every detail mattered because Knighton wasn't just racing others, he was racing time itself. And even as the media tried to paint him as a prodigy or the next Bolt, Knighton never bought into the hype. He remained grounded. In interviews, he rarely made bold predictions or called out opponents. Instead, he focused on improving, step by step, race by race. His humility is part of what makes him such a captivating figure. He doesn't scream for attention, but every time he steps on the track, eyes are glued to him, because deep down, fans know they might be witnessing the rise of someone truly historic. Still, Knighton's journey hasn't been without setbacks. In 2024, just as the hype around him was reaching a fever pitch, news broke of a provisional suspension. A banned substance had been found in his system, and for a moment, it seemed like the storybook rise might be cut short. But as details emerged, the narrative shifted. An investigation revealed the source of the substance, contaminated meat. It was a shocking twist, but one that ultimately cleared his name. The suspension was lifted, and Knighton was back, motivated more than ever. His comeback was a statement. Instead of letting the controversy define him, he used it as fuel. Back on the track, his performances reminded everyone why he was considered one of the sport's brightest prospects, and he's not done. Far from it. Knighton has made it clear that he's gunning for the impossible, breaking 19 seconds in the 200 meters. That's a barrier only one man, Usain Bolt, has ever crossed. But if anyone has the raw tools, the mentality, and the fearlessness to do it, it's Knighton. His stride is long, smooth, and efficient. His acceleration is world-class. But perhaps more importantly, his mindset is different. He doesn't flinch in the face of pressure. He doesn't get caught up in the moment. He just runs. He's also becoming a student of the sport, watching film, analyzing splits, studying what made legends like Bolt and Johnson dominate. Knighton understands that talent alone won't take him to the top. It's preparation that makes the difference. He got fourth today, but that doesn't mean he'll get fourth tomorrow or the next year after that, said Lyles, who took the bronze. If he keeps pushing, I think he's right now on the road to do even more amazing things. And it's that combination, natural talent and relentless preparation, that separates good from great. Knighton isn't just aiming to win races. He's aiming to dominate them, to redefine what's possible in the 200 meters, to make the impossible feel inevitable. For young athletes around the world, Knighton is already a role model, not just for what he's accomplished, but for how he's handled the spotlight. Quiet, humble, and relentlessly focused, he's shown that greatness doesn't need a big mouth. It just needs big results. And yet, even as he racks up records and medals, it feels like Knighton is just getting started. There's a rawness to his journey, a sense that we've only seen a glimpse of what he's truly capable of. The scariest part? He's still developing, still learning, still evolving. Looking ahead, all eyes are on Paris and beyond. The Olympics, the World Championships, the Diamond League. Knighton has a full slate of opportunities to make history. And with every race, the buzz grows louder. Track and field is a sport that thrives on stars. It's about more than just times on a clock. It's about stories, about rising through adversity, about chasing legends, about daring to believe in something bigger. And Erriyon Knighton's story checks every box. From Tampa football fields to global track stages, from a teenager with a dream to a record-breaking phenom, Knighton's rise is one of the most exciting in recent memory. He's already made history, but if his path continues, he might just change the future of sprinting altogether. Because this isn't just about a 19.49-second dash, it's about what that run represents. A new era, a changing of the guard, and a reminder that in sports, the next big thing can show up when you least expect it and leave you speechless. Knighton says, "That's the goal for me, just to be better than last year." So the next time Knighton steps onto the track, remember, you're not just watching a race. You're watching history unfold, 200 meters at a time. If you found Knighton's journey as inspiring as we did, don't forget to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more stories about rising legends rewriting the rules of the game.
And looks like Braden Williams is going to get that 9.99, ladies and gentlemen. It is a 2.6 wind, but it says 9.99. What you know about that? That is a Texas wind. However, that boy excited. Braden Williams. .1022 was what it took last year. And that ain't good enough to hold it down.
What if the fastest sprinter in America right now isn't a pro or even in college, but an 18-year-old high school senior? A name you might not know yet, but one that track fans are shouting from the rooftops, because this kid didn't just break records, he obliterated them. He's not just fast, he's history-making fast. Born in 2007, Braden started his sprinting journey at Waxahachie High School in Texas. He ran a solid 10.72 seconds in the 100 meters as a freshman, a strong start for any young sprinter, but what happened next wasn't just improvement, it was a transformation. In 2023, Braden transferred to Duncanville High School, a powerhouse in Texas athletics. That move changed everything. With a top-tier coaching team and a competitive environment, Braden began tearing through personal bests, and soon, national records. By 2024, he was already catching national attention. At the USATF National Junior Olympic Track and Field Championships, he clocked a win-legal 10.14 seconds in the 100 meters. That wasn't just the fastest time in his age group, it was the third fastest wind-legal time in Texas high school history. Only legends like Matthew Bowling and Derek Florence had ever gone faster. People were beginning to ask, who is this kid? Then came March 20th, 25, the Texas A&M Blue Bonnet Invitational. Braden stepped onto the track and exploded off the blocks like he was shot out of a cannon. When he crossed the finish line, the clock read 9.99 seconds. Wind aided? Yes. But still, he became just the fourth U.S. high schooler ever to break the 10-second barrier under any conditions. That kind of time usually comes from seasoned professionals, Olympic medalists. Braden? He was still worried about homework and prom, but Braden wasn't done shocking the world. On April 18th, 2025, at his regional high school meet, Braden ran a time so fast it made people question if the clock was broken. 9.82 seconds. Let that sink in. 9.82. Faster than most Olympic finalists. Faster than most college stars. Faster than any high schooler. Ever. Yes, the wind reading was plus 6.0 meters per second, which means it won't count as an official record. But that doesn't take away from the jaw-dropping fact. An 18-year-old high schooler just ran a time that would place him among the top sprinters in the world. This wasn't a one-off fluke either. Braden has consistently clocked under 10.20 seconds with multiple sub-10s, even under heavy wind. Analysts have started to notice a pattern. He isn't just explosive off the blocks. His top-end speed holds like a pro. His turnover, stride length, and control through the final 40 meters. Near elite level. In 10 races this season, his average time is 10.19 seconds. That level of consistency from a teenager is almost unheard of. He's not chasing numbers. He's chasing immortality. And the impact he's making isn't just limited to the track. Coaches from all over the country are now studying his form, his starts, and his top speed mechanics. Video breakdowns of his races are being used in coaching clinics. Young sprinters are watching him and dreaming bigger, training harder. Braden has unintentionally become the blueprint. He's even being discussed on forums and podcasts typically reserved for pro athletes. Commentators are questioning how a high schooler could demonstrate this level of poise, efficiency, and raw power so early. It's more than just natural talent, it's calculated evolution. So what makes Braden Williams different? It's not just genetics or raw speed, it's mindset. In interviews, Braden is cool, calm, and focused. He's not obsessed with social media fame or overnight stardom. He talks about execution, about form, about visualizing the race before it happens. He approaches sprinting like a chess player.
Yeah, Braden Williams, Duncanville.
Santa and the Texas Esports League, presented by Baylor University.
It's weird. You don't win, but that's a great performance. Are you satisfied or no?
I'm never satisfied. I feel like it's almost, there's a whole lot of work to be done.
Always thinking 5 moves ahead. And he's got the support to back it up. Duncanville has built a reputation for developing top-tier athletes, and Braden has embraced that pressure. He's training like a pro, studying film, tweaking mechanics, doing recovery work most high schoolers wouldn't even think about. He's also grounded by his family, who've kept him focused amid all the attention. Coaches say he's the first one at practice, the last one to leave. That hunger, that humility, that's what separates the sprinters who fizzle out from the ones who go all the way. And speaking of going all the way, Braden is headed to the University of Georgia. a powerhouse program with a history of grooming champions. With that kind of collegiate setup and his work ethic, the sky isn't the limit. It's just the beginning. Already pro scouts and Olympic coaches are watching. Some believe he could go straight to the Olympic trials and make a final. Others think he should take his time, build strength, and dominate the college scene first. But one thing everyone agrees on, Braden Williams is no ordinary high school athlete. He's a generational talent. His rise is sparking comparisons to legends. When Matthew Bowling ran sub-10 as a high schooler, the world stopped. Braden is now in that same league, maybe even beyond it. His times, consistency, and form are all pointing in one direction: global domination. Track and field has always been about moments, flashpoints, a single race that makes you go, "Who was that?" For Braden, that moment has already happened. And the scary part? He's still improving, still learning, still growing. The sprinting world is evolving. New names are emerging, but few are doing what Braden is doing at his age. He's not just a name to remember. He's the name to watch. Because when you run 9.82, wind or not, you've already crossed the line most dream of. You've told the world, I'm here, and I'm not slowing down. So what comes next? With state championships on the horizon and college just ahead, Braden's schedule is stacked. He'll likely face tougher competition, bigger stages, and more scrutiny. But everything so far suggests he's ready. Ready to challenge records, ready to break expectations, ready to change the game. So keep your eyes on the starting blocks, because the next time Braden Williams explodes down the track, it might not just be a high school record falling. It might be the sound of a new era beginning. And if you blink, you'll miss it. Think Braden's just getting started? Hit that like button, drop a comment, and make sure you're subscribed, because this sprinting story is far from over.
Murphy, but here comes Gout. We knew we'd see this in the final 50, so let's watch the young superstar rise. He's flying. He will be Gout of this universe.
He broke Usain Bolt's record at just 16, then ran a 200 meters so fast it shouldn't even be possible. But the craziest twist? He didn't even win the spotlight for the race. At just 17 years old, Gout did something most sprinters only dream of. He ran faster than a young Usain Bolt. But that's only the beginning of the story. In a whirlwind of trackside drama, record-breaking performances, and Olympic dreams, this teenage phenomenon from Australia is turning the sprinting world upside down. Born in Queensland to South Sudanese parents who migrated to Australia in 2005, Gout's rise has been nothing short of meteoric. With a name that's impossible to forget and speed that's impossible to ignore, Gout became a household name almost overnight. And it wasn't just because of his talent, it was because he dethroned a legend. At the Australian Schools Championships in Brisbane, Gout stunned everyone by running the 200 meters in a blistering 20.04 seconds. That wasn't just fast, it was history in the making. That time didn't just break personal bests. It smashed two major records: Usain Bolt's under-17 world mark of 20.13 seconds and Australia's national record of 20.06 seconds set by Peter Norman back in 1968. In one unforgettable sprint, Gout etched his name into two record books, proving he's not just fast, he's historic.
Him go here, Gout. He's already got the stagger, so he moves right on past Chase Grant, and now we really start to open him up. So let the legs loose and let the kid run. He is absolutely gone. He is Gout of this world.
But he wasn't done yet. At the 2025 Australian Athletics Championships in Perth, Gout lined up for the 200-meter final with one goal: to go even faster. And that's exactly what he did. He crossed the finish line in a jaw-dropping 19.84 seconds. The crowd went wild, the cameras flashed, and commentators were nearly speechless. It was the kind of moment athletes train a lifetime for. But there was a catch.
We knew we'd see this in the final 50, so let's watch the young superstar rise. He's flying. He will be Gout. It says, "Hey world, this is me."
The tailwind during that race was plus 2.2 meters per second, just above the legal limit for record validation. That meant the 19.84 couldn't go down in the books as an official record. Still, it was the second fastest time ever run by an under-20 athlete in any conditions. Legal or not, it was a statement. Gout was here, and he was coming for everything. Yet the race wasn't just defined by the stopwatch, it was also marked by an unexpected and emotional moment of sportsmanship. Lachlan Kennedy, Gout's main rival and fellow Aussie sprinter, false-started and was disqualified before the race even began. For any athlete, especially one in peak form,